Hello, hello, hello. It's coffee time again, where we look at the news. Look at the news. I think I'm streaming this to the regular channel because I don't think anybody realises that the other channel exists. It's not going very well, this whole trying to relocate material. This is why I don't do it, because you go from, I don't know, getting like 150 views, which is nothing, to getting 10 views, which I think is significantly less. So this is why it doesn't work. I try and move things to channels, but people don't tend to follow. But anyway, I've not seen it. I've not been on the Daily Mail today, so oh, that's a horrible story. I can't cover that one. What have we got here? This is parking fines. The story of Lawrence Carney. Here he is, and he's grumpy. Why is he grumpy? Well, he's been on a 9-month crusade. The 58-year-old's been on a 9-month crusade. Is it really a crusade? Is it really? Did he get on a horse, put on a suit of armour, and go to the Middle East? Because he says he's prepared to pay thousands to fight £100 parking charge he was slapped with. Right? He stayed at a car park in Dartford in Kent in June last year. But he reckons that he'd visited the retail park for half-an-hour stints over 2 consecutive days. But he reckons there was a malfunctioning CCTV number plate recognition system, and so he was fined for a 22-hour stay, even though he says he didn't actually stay there for 22 hours. The car park is free for 3 hours, but he was never logged leaving, and he was charged for overstaying. So it looked like he'd arrived at 3:20 p.m. on June the 10th and left at 1:30 p.m. the next day. And he appealed to the parking enforcers, which is run by Group Nexus, and the independent adjudicator parking on private land appeals, Poplar, and he was rejected both times. And this is the one. Wait a minute. Do we know? Is this done? Have we been here? Do we know this one, Mrs.? Is that the? Oh, it's the Tower Retail Car Park. I don't think we have been to that one. You see, it was at Dartford. I wonder if it was the one over near Dartford Bridge. But yeah. So he's going to fight tooth and nail. Mr. Carney from Dartford has contacted the British Parking Association, and he's carrying on his battle. They denied any problems with their system, so he's going to carry on. And he says, he just says he's just going to carry on. Ah dear. I don't know. I just think sometimes you just got to cut your losses. But he really won't let go. He's like a Jack Russell going down that rabbit hole. Meanwhile, at the weekend in the UK, it's Mother's Day, right? And Twitter user Tanya Sweeney from Dublin, she wanted to surprise her mother with a bouquet, and this was from eFlorist apparently. And this is the bouquet that she ordered. Looks nice, looks very nice indeed. And but she was a bit disappointed by what turned up. Yeah, it looks a bit lacking. But there are some buds there that are yet to bloom. So maybe she's got to put them in some water and let them bloom. But yeah, she said that she was upset because there were no colourful blooms. And yeah, it does look a bit lacking when you put them in the vase. Looks a bit lacking, doesn't it? More green, more greenery. But yeah, she complained to eFlorist, and she got an email back from him, which was again equally dissatisfied. She says, thank you for your email. We apologise for any disappointment caused. Having reviewed the photograph you've been kind enough to provide, we are pleased to see that the flowers are fresh, have met the colour scheme of the advertised products and to value. Unfortunately, on this occasion, we're unable to pursue your complaint. So that they seem to think everything's tickety-boo. So, but she's disappointed. Very, very disappointed with them. But yeah, other dissatisfied customers chimed in. Andrea Mary Smith said, I've received flowers from one once and I was also very disappointed. Another customer said, I got stung with them last Mother's Day. A handful of wilted sad flowers arrived loosely in a box. And again, there's more people posted their dissatisfying pictures from eFlorist. I use bunches.co.uk. There you go, that's my tip. Don't worry, I'm not getting any money. It's not an affiliate link or anything, but I always use them because they've never let me down. They've always good plants and flowers. So there you go. Are you a motorist? I'm not, but apparently there's a warning light in your car, right? And it's to tell you if your car's overheating, because many motorists wouldn't realise apparently that there is actually an overheating light in their car, and it's a thermometer with some wavy lines. Here you have it. Oh, sorry, would help if I could actually fit the picture in the screen. There you go. So that's what you need to look for. Though there is a light in the missus' car that's permanently on, and we don't really know what it's for. So yeah, I mean, again, come on, motorists, you need to. You should know this. You should know this. Meanwhile, let's go to some court news. This is the story of Gemma Woods. Here she is, obviously going into court there. And what was she responsible for? Again, she didn't actually commit the crime. It was her dog, Staffy Cross, attacked a postman in Bury, Greater Manchester on April the 22nd last year. And it dragged him around like a rag doll. The postman had been in the profession more than 20 years. Saw there was a large bang as the pet came charging at him. Before it bit his lower leg, knocking him to the ground. And the postman required surgery for his wounds. Gemma Woods pleaded guilty to having an out of control dog and avoided jail, which is nice, wasn't it? Yeah, she was sentenced to a 12-month community order, 12 days of rehabilitation, and in order to pay £50 fine. And no orders were made to destroy the dog. So you go, the dog's still alive. And the name of the postman was Mark Fox. So the headline is Dog Attacks Fox. I think the workmen are clearing up the garden outside. Meanwhile, a poll by, of all people, the post office. Why? Have indicated, right, that nearly half the population have ignored their mum's advice until they were the age of 26. Okay, yeah, nearly 6 in 10 say they fully appreciate their own mothers only when they had children themselves. This was a survey of 2,000 Britons by the Post Office for Mother's Day this Sunday. Oh, I get it, for Mother's Day. And I've actually got 20 pieces of advice there that your mother may have given you. Treat people as you like to be treated yourself. Family comes first. My mum had the opposite and the opposite attitude to that, didn't she, Mrs? Life isn't fair. Life's never fair. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. A little kindness goes a long way. Work hard. Know when to say sorry. Look after the pennies, and the pounds look after themselves. Don't mix your whites and darks in the wash. Well, is that real mother advice? I thought that was just, you don't want I don't know, grey underpants. Never go to bed on argument. Oh no, go to bed on an argument. Never wake on an argument. Always treat the new day as a fresh start. That's my advice. You can go to bed on an argument, but next day, start again. Don't wash your dirty linen in public, unless it's a breezy day and you want your underpants to dry. A tidy house is a tidy mind. Okay. Remember your P's and Q's. Everything in moderation. Absolutely. Always eat your greens. Don't live in the past. Don't put your coat on until you get outside, or you won't feel the benefit. Oh no, I don't like that. I always like to put my coat on, in the passage, then leave the house. Don't burn your bridges. Always make your bed, and always send a thank you note after receiving a present. So there you go. Some great pieces of advice there for Mother's Day. We love our mums, don't we? Oh, except mine's dead, so it doesn't really matter. Meanwhile, we have advice on dating apps, yeah, because there are a lot of con men out there, a lot of catfish. Paul Carrick-Brunson, who co-hosts Married at First Sight UK and Celebs Go Dating, has some advice. He says he's revealed the 3 red flags to watch out for on dating apps. Right. First tip is they try to move you off the dating app rather quickly. Right, so they'll get you to move. You can never see them. You don't know what they look like. So if they don't want to meet up in person, you should probably avoid them. They're probably going to try and tap you for some money. And finally, they profess how much they love you, even though they've never met you. So they're love bombing you again. That is a catfishing thing. There we go. What else have we got? Oh, blimey! Some horrible stories on the mail today, which I'm not going to cover. Can't do that one. Come on, Daily Mail. Come on. Meanwhile, this is what's happening in France at the moment. Old Emmanuel Macron, right, has raised the pension age, from 62 to 64, and the French, they've not reacted too well. Yeah, there's been wide scale rioting. Over here, we just again, the bean collectors have gone on strike. Over here, we just let them do it. But yeah, in France, they go no. So yeah, it's good that. So yeah, mind you, he looks like he's having a rave. Whoop 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 whoop. So, but they don't like it. Look at them all. The French are revolting. No, they've always been like that. What's that? We've lost the French contingent. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh yeah, this is It's political correctness gone mad. This is Oxfam. Oxfam have released a 92-page inclusivity guide, right? And There you go. Look how inclusive it is. There's no white middle-aged bald men in this guide, which is not very inclusive. Boo, boo. Right, but it warns against using words like headquarters. The word local may be offensive, and people could be evidence of the patriarchy. And there you go. Remember, silence is violence, everyone. And it warns about the power of language, because remember, words are violence now. And yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting how they're trying to dismantle the meanings of words, and again, control our language. Words like youth, the elderly, and seniors should be avoided in order to give respect and dignity. The word parent is preferable to mother or father. And terms such as feminine hygiene should be dropped. And people who become pregnant should be used instead of expectant mothers. It's quite bonkers. Now you've got to remember, Oxfam had a terrible, terrible issue with its volunteers abusing their power in very poor countries with children and vulnerable women. And yeah, I mean, and here we go. This is some more advice there. We don't want no more stinking mothers and fathers. How dare we? Avoid mankind. Why? Because mankind has an inherent association with maleness. Instead, use human beings or humankind. Maybe. Humankind. But you can't spell human without man. You can't spell human without man. In this, they say avoid using BAME or BME. That's interesting. There's been it's been a change. Now you've got to use BIPOC instead, or Indigenous and people of colour. I can't use the word black market. You use informal economy. Don't say ethnic minority. Say minority ethnic. Mangle language until it means nothing, and then someone will get upset. But I mean, it's just hey. This is real. I hate to use it's real George Orwell stuff where they try and control our language. The most bizarre story is about Jason Blaine. Now we did mention him. He owned Piers Court, which was the country home of Evelyn Waugh. He wrote Brideshead Revisited, and we did talk about a woman who was squatting there. Well, she said they could live there for like, I don't know, on a peppercorn rent. I think it's £5 a week rent. We did cover that story. Well, anyway, Mr. Blaine, he's a former BBC executive, right? Racked up a 1.1 million hotel bill. Yeah, he was staying at the Mandarin Oriental Hyde Park Hotel. He had a room service bill for 25 grand. Yeah. It's just astonishing. He's up in court at the moment. He's been named as the debtor in a bankruptcy petition. And his difficulties began in 2020. He was staying at the £4,725 a night penthouse suite at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in London's Knightsbridge. I mean, it's absolute bonkers, He had £30,000 fees for valet parking and spent £8,600 on spa treatments and room service charges. He's named director of no fewer than 26 companies, 4 of which are months overdue filing their accounts. So yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Oh, and they sold that, was it Piers Court? They sold it to help pay off some of his debts because he was defaulting on the payment on that. I mean, it's just a crazy story of someone letting their finances go absolutely out the window. Oh, I can't read that one either. That's a miserable story. Are you struggling to sleep? It could be your pet who's to blame, apparently. No, it's not my pet. Not now. This one doesn't snore. My other one snored. She's a big snorer. But yeah, studied by scientists at Lincoln Memorial University believes they're snoring, abruptly waking, and needing sleeping pills. Are linked to sleep disorder. If you're a dog owner, you've got more trouble sleeping, have sleeping disorders, sleep apnea, feel unrested, feeling sleepy, not getting enough sleep, needing to have pills, and having leg jerks. Whereas cats, if you're a cat owner, snoring. I mean, this was 5,500 people were interviewed. I mean, this is some real. Again, they get paid. They get paid to do this. To get paid, mind you. Have you got a toxic boss? Well, yeah, my boss. He's awful. Oh, wait a minute. I am my own boss. But yeah, this is Professor Simon L. Dolan. He's a professor at Advantier School of Management, and he's got a book out. Yeah, has he got a book? Imagine there's a book. Is there a book? Or has he done research? No, he's done research. I thought it was a book. 5 key traits. Right? We've got 5 key traits to tell if you've got a toxic boss. 1. They're jealous of their team's success. 2. Constantly concerned about competition or workplace enemies. That's your workplace paranoia. Often take credit for other people's work. They often show narcissistic tendencies, constantly compare themselves to others, consider their self-worth to be solely driven by their latest results. There you go, that's how you know you've got a toxic boss. I think they're all like that, aren't they? I think that's what they're all like. And do you know why kids don't get cold? I do not know. Well, their secret is because children have more brown fat. I did not know that. Yeah, apparently brown fat is specialised fat cells designed to create heat and maintain the body's 37 degree centigrade internal temperature. And unlike white fat, which is seen in abundance around the midriff, bottoms and chins, the brown type is invisible and compactly distributed deep inside, especially around the shoulder blades, spine and kidneys. And it makes up close to 5% of a newborn's body fat, but levels gradually decline with age. And this leaves adults more vulnerable to colder temperatures. So yeah, you might see a kid running around without his t-shirt on a winter's day. It's because he's packed with brown fat. And it gets its colour because it's packed with iron-rich mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of the cells. Dr. Dane Salaya, Professor of Cellular and Orgasmial Metabolism at Reading University, said it's down to a unique protein in brown fat called uncoupling protein number 1. This allows brown fat to burn energy to make heat. So there you go. But yeah, apparently women have slightly more brown fat than men. Fascinating. They've got a little infogram. I think this is one as you get older, you feel the cold more, and it misses. And we've been finding all the cold, Yeah, so brown fat. Shall we have some court news? Why not? This is Kelly Ryan, who's 44, mother of 3, who's a charity director. And she'd, well, how can you say, she'd enjoyed an evening of liquid refreshment when she collided with the back of parked cars when she was driving home on October the 24th in Manchester city centre last year. And as she tried to make a quick getaway and reversed, she drove into a lamppost and then hit it again as she made a further attempt to speed off. Then she dumped her car and ran away. Here she is. She looks a bit concerned. When they caught her, she had 118 milligrams of alcohol in a 100 milliliter breath. The legal limit is 35 milligrams. She represented herself at Manchester Magistrates Court and said, "I'm mortified at what happened, especially when I had to explain it to my kids. I have no defence for it. I can't justify it." So yeah, have we got what was the sentencing? District Judge Jane Hamilton subjected Ryan to 90 days on electric tag as part of an alcohol abstinence requirement. She was ordered to pay £199 costs and complete 8 rehabilitation activity days plus 50 hours of unpaid work. Yeah, and she was the director of an animal welfare business, apparently. Was she banned from driving? I can't seem to find that. Yeah, she was banned from driving for 3 years as well. There you go. So just get a taxi. Just get a taxi home. You don't need to do this. Meanwhile, do you like using eBay? Do you collect things? You might have wanted to collect this gold coin. Look at this. It was for the Queen's Jubilee last year. It's rather handsome. Features the goddess Artemis. It was for the Platinum Jubilee. Hattons of London created just 5,999 coins as part of a collector's range. Right. And in a nod to the 70-year anniversary, the coin was made using platinum gold, a unique alloy of 22 karat gold and 2 carats of platinum. Nice coin. And one's been listed on eBay. Though you might have to save up your pennies. I want 50k for it. Blimey, that's a spicy meatball, isn't it? Imagine, I don't know, paying for, you take it out and you pay for your Chinese with it by accident. You'd be gutted, wouldn't you? You'd be gutted. You'd have to keep that in your sock. Meanwhile, they've found a way, right? This is called the Kerbo charge. And this is answering my question of what they're going to do with electric vehicles and street charging. Look, here it comes. Look, it comes out the wall, goes across the pavement and into the car. Look at that. To avoid the trip hazard. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. But yeah, that's for anyone who's got street parking, haven't got a private driveway. It's called Kerbo charge. And they're going to roll it out. It costs £999. That's the lowest. That's the starting price. And basically it's a little groove in the pavement, isn't it? And I guess is that rubber? Is that a rubber? People are going to trip over. It's going to be a trip hazard. Have we got anything else? Yeah, we've got the. This is they're calling this the goal of the season. This is Sporting FC. We're level, and well, you've got to watch this goal as it goes in. I'm just going to cue it up there. Right, as you can see, kicks the ball out from just after the halfway line, and goes right in the back of the net there. Yeah, that's not bad, is it? It's a pretty good goal. Have I done enough? Yeah, I feel like I've done enough. So let's meet an adorable dog called Duchess. She was taken in by Orange County Animal Services in Orlando, Florida, around Christmas in 2022. And she had an issue. She had cysts around her eyes, which some people branded her as ugly. Right? Look at that. Ah. But she's been renamed now because she's been adopted. Her new name is Lena. And I've got a picture with her new owner. There we go. Here she is with her new owner. She's wearing the cone of shame because she's had those cysts removed. There you go, you can see where they've shaved her eyes and they've had them removed. So now she's no longer an ugly pup. She's a beautiful girl instead. And here she is having a kip. There you go. End on a nice animal story for the last one of the week. That was coffee time for Friday. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'll see if there's anyone in the chat. No, there's nobody here. Just G-Man. G-Man. You're the only one here. Everyone's abandoned me, man. Because I did it on the other channel, but nobody was watching it over there, so I come back over here. It's very difficult to maintain an audience. It's like playing run around, run around. But thank you for popping by. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm going to upload this onto the other channel in medium more, and yeah, we'll do this all again soon. Thank you. That was the news. Yeah, you know, you got to drink up. Have a good weekend.